The Pittsburgh Steelers just got some massive news one day before the start of mandatory minicamp. Now in this video, we're going to break down everything you need to know about mandatory minicamp, but more importantly, we're going to break down some of the biggest news that we could get on a Monday before mandatory minicamp. We're going to break it all down in just a second. Before we get into the video, again, big shout out to all of the Steelers media members out there who work so hard to get this footage out for us each and every single day, making these videos possible. Go follow them on Twitter for, live, real-time highlights from practice from here throughout training camp as well. So make sure you guys go follow them. Big shout out to them. Now, with that being said, let's talk about some major news regarding the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, according to the Pittsburgh Steelers themselves and multiple different reporters, the Pittsburgh Steelers have signed coach Mike Tomlin to a 3-year extension. Now, why is this big news? Well, this was the last year of his deal, and the Pittsburgh Steelers roster just got a massive overhaul. Omar Khan has done such a good job bringing in new pieces and giving the Pittsburgh Steelers the best shot to win now and in the future as well. Now having Russell Wilson, having Justin Fields, who are both looking insanely good, both looking better than anything they had in the QB room last year, this team is ready to make a massive jump. Not only were they one of the best defenses in football last year, but Mike Tomlin has consistently made this team a playoff team when in reality, they should have been a top 10 pick team just because the quarterback play hasn't been spectacular. Mike Tomlin is one of the best coaches in NFL history, or maybe even one of the most underrated at the same time, right? Now, he is one of the most winningest, regular season coaches, and he continues to prove each and every single year why he deserves to be here. Now, his new contract will run through what seems to be 2027, which is perfect. So he's got 2024, 25, 26, and 27 as well. That's 4 more years for a coach in Mike Tomlin who never has losing seasons and an all-time motivator as a head coach, really knows how to get the most out of his players, right? Sometimes you see guys who were former first-round picks not really do anything in their NFL careers, come over to Mike Tomlin, and boom, just like that, they're difference makers. And that's what Mike Tomlin can do as a head coach. And you know what? I think this might be one of the most underrated, transactions for the Steelers, in a while. I mean, Mike Tomlin is such a good head coach, and the fact that he's going to be here for a while is massive for what they're trying to do now and in the future as well. I don't really know what the money looks like yet, but Mike Tomlin is the NFL's longest tenured head coach with the same team as he enters his 18th season with Pittsburgh, has never had a losing season during his tenure with the Steelers, and I don't think it's going to start this year as well. This deal would take him through his 21st season with Pittsburgh, and I'm excited to see what he can do with that. Now, as mandatory minicamp is set to start tomorrow, June 11th, we have a lot more news and notes to talk about, right? Now, before we jump into that, I want you guys to do me a big favor. Hit the like button just so we can get this video out to more Steelers fans around the world. But more importantly, subscribe to the channel if you're new. It's free. It doesn't cost anything. And we will be covering the Steelers throughout the entirety of the offseason. Now, you might be asking, well, what does that entail? What does that mean exactly? We're going to be covering not only the entirety of, mandatory minicamp, but training camp, preseason, regular season, right? Everything you could think of, we've got you guys covered. So make sure you guys join the family, turn on post notifications. That way you're notified every time we post one of these videos. And once the season does start, guys, we're going to be breaking down all 22 coaches' film each and every single week and live streaming some of their games on Twitch. If you want to watch some Steelers games with me live in real time, make sure you guys follow the Twitch. It is Matty Dubs with 3 S's, or you can find the link in the description. Make sure you follow over there. But with that being said, let's kind of dive into what we saw from OTAs, but more importantly, who to look at going into mandatory minicamp. Now, one of the biggest battles right now is Russell Wilson and Justin Fields. And, I'm not saying that Russell Wilson is actually in a battle because it seems like Russell Wilson is the better player as of right now. But Justin Fields is definitely more of a playmaker with the ball in his hands. So I would not be surprised at all if Justin Fields works his way up and actually gets himself a package in game. Now, this is something that we haven't seen in the NFL in a very long time. Actually, the Auburn Tigers and a lot of college football teams run situations where you'll have your starting quarterback for the majority of the game, but once you get to the red zone, they throw in a quarterback who can run read option, right? It gets really tough to stop in the red zone when you run an RPO or play action, especially with the guy like with Justin Fields. I think he could implement his own type of packages in the red zone that could even make him or the Steelers even more dangerous in red zone type of situation. So I feel like I wouldn't be too surprised if they end up finding a role for him on this football team to get some snaps in game as well. Calvin Austin and Roman Wilson, got to keep your eyes out on those. Those guys have been breaking out, looking really good. And, while the Steelers are in a ton of trade rumors for guys like Brandon Ayuk or, in rumors about signing Michael Thomas, watch out for Roman Wilson and Calvin Austin. These guys have been looking really good and have been filling the shoes of Deontay Johnson as best as possible. Big shout out to Calvin Austin. This dude, Calvin Austin, has grinded. You can tell the separation, the footwork, the in and out of the routes is so much better than it was last season. I'm expecting Calvin Austin to potentially break out this season, especially with Russell Wilson as a quarterback. We saw how well Marvin Mims did last year with the Broncos. I think Calvin Austin is a very similar type of player. Roman Wilson just is a go up and get it. I mean, you can do everything as your slot wide receiver. So definitely excited to see him continue to develop. We saw Broderick Jones kind of in that swing tackle boat where he's playing left, he's playing right, and Troy Fautano moved to the right side. Zach Frazier at the center position. I think this offensive line is, miles and miles ahead of where they were last season. And not only that, but you add an offensive coordinator, Arthur Smith, who is going to get the most out of this running game. The play action game is going to be even more deadly than it has ever been with Russell Wilson and Najee and Jalen Warren. And you add guys like Dejuan Edwards as a UDFA. He's looking really good as well. So, man, dude, if you ask me, this Steelers team looks absolutely dangerous, and I'm, extremely excited to see how these guys continue to work, continue to get better. But and the defense, I mean, we've talked so much about this defense always being top 10, always being so good. And last year, if their quarterback play, if their offense moved the ball a little bit better, this defense could have been top 3 in the NFL in terms of just all the categories. So, man, I'm excited. You add Cam Sutton back as a starting nickel, that's huge news. Beanie Bishop is a guy that's been standing out as another UDFA. Dante Jackson from Carolina. Deshaun Elliott from Miami. Patrick Queen from Baltimore. Peyton Wilson, I mean, beast. Or a third round steal, in my opinion. Nick Herbig probably going to take a major jump up this year with his versatility alone. And we talk about the D line, man, with Cameron Hayward coming back. He's back at practice, and Dean Lowry coming over from Minnesota. I am so excited about this Pittsburgh Steelers team, and I think they might be one of the scariest teams in the NFL next season, especially if they add a Michael Thomas. Good luck, man. Good luck. So do me a favor, hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, join the family, turn on post notifications. And, hey, all those names I just mentioned, make sure you keep an eye out on them, especially the lower run guys, right? The Peyton Wilsons, the Beanie Bishops, the Corey Trices, who else? The Calvin Austins, the Roman Wilsons, Dejuan Edwards, Cam Sutton getting back into that nickel role here for Pittsburgh full-time, Nick Herbig. So let me know what you guys think. Join the family, and I'll see you guys in the next Steelers update. Peace.